Joining me now from Rio Grande Valley, Texas, Vice President and spokesman for the National Border Patrol Council, Chris Cabrera. Chris, I've heard words thrown out there by folks who work in the Border Patrol, overwhelming, unprecedented, out of hand. Having studied the border for decades now, I think we're at a point where you can call this tantamount to a war. This is tantamount to an invasion, a human invasion, and it is time that the federal government steps up and stops the invasion, gives you the tools needed, change the law. The president now talking about an immigration czar. Like I said, that's a nice idea, but ultimately it's going to be up to Congress to change this dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've been sitting on this problem since 2014. Nobody's lifted a finger to fix this. Our leaders in Congress need to get to work or get out of the way and let somebody in who will do the job. They're too busy fighting each other, and not enough attention is being paid to the problems we have on the border. Not just the people coming in and turning themselves in, but the others that are getting away because we don't have enough manpower out there to prevent that.
We are hearing the president talk about, and now there is reaction to it, of a potential shutdown of the border. And by this, there's two things he could shut down, and maybe both, right? He could shut down the physical ports of entry, whether it's in San Ysidro or El Paso and various places along our southern border. He could shut this down. But he could also shut down immigration itself. And if we look at the physical shutdown, what does that look like in your mind? You've been on the border for many, many years. You know the dynamic. You know that it would be troubling, obviously, to shut down the borders. But is this an area of last resort that you think the president ought to pull the trigger on?
Yeah, you know, I don't think anybody wants to necessarily shut down the port of entry, but it may be necessary just to get the attention of people that this is how serious this is. We're going to lose a lot of money through trade, so will Mexico. But if they're not going to work with us hand in hand, well, maybe that's something that needs to be explored, and maybe this will be what's needed to get Congress off their butts and get them to work.
So you look at this as a wake-up call. And I look at it as a wake-up call, too, to the United States. It's certainly a message to the Congress. But in the end, Chris, it's the American people, right? The American people have got to be engaged and informed of what's going on and what you border agents have to deal with on a daily basis now.
Yeah, you know, so many people just believe what they see on Facebook or the news, and there's so much more going on out there. People are suffering making this journey over here. People are risking everything. People are risking their lives coming here. The conditions that they're being held in right now, we're not designed to house people as far as the Border Patrol is concerned. We're designed short term. We don't have shower facilities. We don't have cafeterias. It's very primitive conditions. And we're 5-6 times capacity. We just don't have anywhere else to house them, and bad things can go wrong in situations like these. But people don't seem to care. They're too busy worried about a Republican versus Democrat.
And so here are the numbers, just in case people aren't paying attention. It's swelling now. We were reporting just a couple of weeks ago apprehensions at about 2,000 a day. Now we're getting around 4,000. There was a day last week, I think in Texas, and the entire region combined, but Texas had a lot of these, where 9,000 in one day, 9,000 apprehended. In the total universe of Border Patrol agents is 20,000. Any given time during any shift, there's maybe, what, 3,000 border agents on duty? Those numbers just don't add up. And so now assets are being moved, Chris, from the border positions, the port of entries, and being spread along areas where obviously we need personnel. But this is a mixed blessing. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's creating a lot of havoc, I would imagine, at these ports of entry, but it's allowing personnel to be used in other parts of the border.
Yeah, you know, just in my area alone last week in the Rio Grande Valley, we apprehended 8,800 just in our area. And then you probably have at least that amount of people that are getting away from us because they're evading detention because we don't have the manpower. So yeah, it is a very, very troubling time right now in the Border Patrol. We're doing the best we can to keep up with it. We didn't create this mess, Congress did.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.